Once it happened that Socrates was passing through the market with his student. They were both talking when suddenly a man came up and started saying bad things to Socrates. He was red with anger and continuously insulting him. But Socrates, without responding to any of his words, passed by him with a smile. Seeing Socrates smile, the man got even angrier and started abusing not only Socrates, but also his family. Despite all this, Socrates kept walking ahead with a smile. When the man saw that his words had no effect on Socrates, he mumbled to himself and moved out of the way. After the man left, the student asked Socrates, "Why didn't you respond to that man? And not only that, why were you smiling? Didn't any of his words hurt you?" Socrates looked at the student, but instead of answering, he signaled him to follow. The student silently followed him. They kept walking until they reached Socrates' house. Signaled the student to wait outside and went in. After a while, he came back with a dirty, foul-smelling towel and some clothes. Socrates handed the towel to the student and said, "Clean your hands with this and wear these clothes." The clothes were extremely dirty and smelled bad. The student immediately threw them away and said, "How can I wear these? They're so dirty and stinky." Socrates then said, "Just like you cannot accept these dirty, smelly clothes, in the same way, why should I accept someone's filthy insults? If someone abuses you without any reason and you get upset, stop what you're redoing and start thinking about those useless things, or get angry. Then it's exactly like you. It's taken off your clean, neat clothes and worn those filthy ones given by someone else." Friends, it often happens that we are in a good mood, doing something happily, maybe driving a car, and someone unnecessarily provokes us. And we let that ruin our mood and our whole day. We forget what we were doing and start discussing that person, staying upset over their behavior. Such people are like garbage bins, frustrated, short-tempered, emotionally unwell people who have to throw their mental garbage on someone. So never fall prey to such people. If you see a human garbage dump, avoid it with a smile and walk past. We should not let someone else's wrong behavior upset us. We shouldn't become toys in someone else's hands, so that they can make us angry whenever they want. The control of our heart and mind should always be in our own hands, music and in life. Try to learn something new every day. Think new, do new. Now let's move towards today's story. In ancient Athens, two groups had opposed each other for power. One group was led by Cleon, a cunning politician, while the other group was led by the philosopher Socrates. Though Socrates had no interest in politics, people supported him because he was honest, wise, and virtuous. Everyone loved him, especially the youth. They liked his straightforwardness and the way he taught moral values and ethics. This made Cleon jealous. Cleon was frustrated seeing the popularity of Socrates, so he devised a plan to take revenge on him. Cleon went to the court and filed a case against Socrates. He accused Socrates of corrupting the youth of Athens. It was not a real accusation. It was just part of Cleon's plan. But still, Socrates had to defend himself in court. All of Athens came to the court to see the great philosopher defending himself. Some people were sad that Socrates would have to go through this trouble. However, Socrates was calm. He knew that his honesty and truthfulness would win in the end. Socrates gave a brilliant speech in the court and defended himself well. His speech was so powerful that everyone, including Cleon, was convinced that Socrates was innocent. The jury announced that Socrates was not guilty and acquitted him of all charges. Socrates won this battle, but Cleon was still plotting to take revenge on him. Soon, Cleon found another chance. During the war between Athens and Sparta, many Athenian soldiers lost their lives. People were furious and wanted revenge. It was then that Cleon filed another case against Socrates, accusing him of avoiding military service. According to Athenian law, every male citizen had to serve in the army, but Socrates was exempted from it because he had a physical disability. He had a medical condition called varus, which means his legs were bowed outwards. Because of this, he could not run or march long distances. At that time, being a soldier meant that you had to walk long distances and carry heavy equipment. That is why Socrates was not required to serve in the army. But Cleon did not know about this. He used this fact to file a false case against Socrates. He said that Socrates was avoiding military service by pretending to have a disability. again, Socrates had to defend himself. Once again, people came to see him in large numbers. They expected him to defend himself as brilliantly as he had done last time. But this time, Socrates disappointed them. He refused to speak in defense, said that his health was really bad, and he was not well enough to stand trial. In the end, the jury found him guilty and sentenced him to death. Socrates became very sad after hearing this. For the first time in his life, he wished he could escape and live longer. But he was a brave man. He accepted his fate and calmly prepared for death. 3. Death. When Socrates heard the verdict, his students were very sad. One of his students, Plato, tried to convince him to escape. He said that there was a full moon that night, and a big ship was ready to take him away. All he had to do was escape from the city that night, and no one would know about it. Socrates listened to Plato's words, but he refused to run away. He said that he had never run away from death before, nor would he do it now. He said that if he escaped, it would bring a bad name to Athens. Also, he believed that death was not the end of life, believed in reincarnation, and that the soul transmigrates into another body after death. So there was nothing to be afraid of. He asked Plato to stop trying and let him die with dignity. Plato understood that Socrates was determined to die, so he stopped persuading him. The next day, Socrates was brought before the court to carry out the death sentence. Many of his students and admirers were present at his execution. Even his worst enemy, Cleon, was there. Socrates drank the poison calmly. As the poison took effect, he started feeling weak. His legs and arms became numb. Still, he was conscious and talked to his students till the end. When he told them to remember the virtue of wisdom. He told them that wisdom is the most important thing in life, and it should be more important than anything else. He also told them to think about the truth and not be afraid of anyone. Finally, when he felt that his end was near, he turned to his student Cebes, who was crying. He said, "We must be grateful to the gods, for when we have done all we can, they lead us into the night from which we shall wake up again into a new and better world. Not weep therefore, my dear Cebes, for I say that I am about to go where I wish to go, and you will both follow me there soon." Then Socrates called for a cup of poison, and when it was given to him, he drank it. As the poison spread throughout his body, his senses started fading away. He breathed his last breath and died. His students cried a lot, but they could not save him. Socrates had shown them the path of wisdom and truth, and now he was leaving them to go to the next world. Cleon was happy to see his enemy dead. But later, he regretted it because Socrates had taught Athenians about virtue and honor. Without Socrates, Athens had lost something great.